Okay, so in this chapter, guys, I'll try to explain you that what is a epoch and what is a batch size and how the actual calculation is going to happen if someone is going to ask you a question that how many time this weight and bias update happens inside a neural network. So I believe you all will be able to answer right after this particular chapter. So question is very simple. How many times we are updating a weight if my epoch is equal to 10 and my batch size is equal to 8, right? So how many times we are basically updating a weight? That's something that we have to do the math. We have to do the calculation. So here, let me do the math. So for epoch plus batch size. Yeah. So as of now, we have given epoch is equals to 10 and we have batch size is equals to 8. Now, first of all, let's try to understand that what is the meaning of a epoch and what is the meaning of a batch size. So epoch simply means, in a layman term, epoch simply means that number of times we are sending the whole training data, right? Number of times we are sending the whole training data. Now, what is the total number of data that we have? So total number of data that we have is equals to 150. How much data will be considered as a training data? So 80% data will be considered as a training data and 20% data will be considered as a testing data, let's suppose, right? So 80% data will be considered as training data and 20% data will be considered as a testing data. So training data is basically 80% of this one. Yes. So 120 data will be a training data, let's suppose, as of now. And then for a validation data, we have basically a 30. So this is something that we are able to like a get. Okay. Now, so this is the training sample and this is the validation sample. Now, how many epoch that we have? So number of epoch is equals to 10. And what is the batch size that we have? Batch size is equals to 8. Okay. So what is the meaning of a batch size? So basically, meaning of a batch size is that after these many number of sample you are going to send, after these many number of sample you are going to send, then in a backward propagation, it is going to update the weight. So weight new is equals to weight old minus eta uh, loss with respect to W. Yeah, so weight update is going to happen after every 8 sample, after every 8 sample. So weight update is going to basically happen. This is the meaning of a batch size basically. If I'm going to give batch size equal to 2, so after every second record we are going to pass, it is going to update the weight. So again, frequently we should not update the weight and it should not be even a delayed one. It should be basically a balanced one, by the way, right? So now let's try to do a math over here. So training sample was basically 120, testing sample was basically a 30. Now this training sample X test, we are trying to send inside my neural network. And over there, so we have again 80-20. So validation is equals to what? Validation is equals to 80%. And then for our training purposes, it is trying to use basically 80% and validation, it is trying to use a 20%. So here out of this 120, so 120 of 80% is 96 technically. So it's 96 and 120 of 20%. So it's going to be 24. So 96 data it will be using for a training purpose and 24 data it will be using for a validation purpose during a training. Simple, right? So here in one single epoch means when I'm going to send one complete set of the data. So in one single epoch, let's divide by a batch size. So these many times it is going to update the weight. So 12 batch, and that is called as basically batch. So 12 batch per epoch. So this is called as batch size. So how many batch? Batch size is 8. So 96 divided by 8 is equals to 12 batch. So in one single epoch, we will be having a 12 batches. So in 10 epoch, obviously we'll be having a 120 batches. 120 batches, by the way. 120 batches. So 120 batches means 120 times it will update the trainable parameter. So weight and biases. So this is the answer, guys, that you all will be able to find out. Yeah. So 120 times basically my weight update is going to happen. You can try to validate it even manually. That's completely fine. But yeah, and this is the meaning of epoch. Epoch simply means that number of times we are trying to send the whole data. Batch size simply means that after this many data, I'm going to update my weight. As simple as that. If batch size is equal to 1, in that case, after every single data input, it is going to update the weight. As simple as that. So with that, thank you so much everyone. Take care and see you again in my next lecture.